what I'm going to be painting is, what am I doing? Which one is it? Is it that one? Yes. Okay. Yeah. So that worked. So that's a scene in Holland of a windmill. I've been painting all week with my students in my live class anyway, uh, just trying to push them a little bit to push their envelope of their painting somewhat. And so instead of painting everything correctly, and trying to get fidelity with your painting references, whether they be live or photographic, but just to push it out and actually sort of learn to enjoy the painting process more. Develop a sense of color, develop a kind of a confidence, really, because you have to be kind of confident to paint this way. But I think that anyone can do it, really. It just requires practice. So I mean, you'll be jumping a lot of hurdles, over time, and you get used to it after a while, so you don't think so much about mistakes that you might be making. Oh, and I need to test a couple of things as well. So I need to test this. All right. So I've got a little bank of buttons on a device on my desktop as well, so I don't have to use the mouse. This should be a little bit simpler to use. And so I'm going to get rid of that one, and I'm going to do this as well. So see whether this works. It should come up in a second. Yeah, there you go. And if I remember, I'll press it sort of sometimes during the proceedings. There you go. Look at that. I animated that. Let's get rid of that. And so, as I said, that we'll be painting that one, and let's have a look at the palette. Yeah, the palette's working fine. You can see the colours I'm using there. Titanium white, cadmium yellow pale hue, permanent rose. This one's ultramarine, and that's dioxazine purple, which is a bit of a departure in my demonstration paintings, and that's burnt sienna. So I'm going to start painting. Okay, so yes, the Fauvist, painting all the wrong colours, not paying any respect to the drawing very much. So let's do it. I'm going to do across here like that. I think that would be my skyline there, the horizon, and I'm doing this in ultramarine blue. Normally I do my line work, the drawings in burnt sienna. So I'm doing things deliberately to change from the usual procedure. Okay, so let's do that there. Let's put that the house there. Let's put the windmill like that. Then there's a barn. I want the barn to break the horizon, so I'm going to put that in there like that. Dome of the windmill. Do you know what? I'm going to move that. I'd like it to be further into the painting. I think the human eye would like that to be further in. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. So I'm going to put this body of water here, and there's obviously some kind of mill race type thing going on here. The house, let's do it. The house there. Come across there like that. There's another bit of the house there with a bit of a roof there, and then there's obviously a taller building up here with those kind of high Dutch roof lines. Okay, and then some bushes, trees. Now I've moved the windmill in, so it's closer to the house than in the photograph. Sail, sail, sail. Okay. Now there's a bit of a green space there, and then a path going up there. What else have we got? I was saying to everyone yesterday, although they probably couldn't see it because the quality was so bad that you know, there's all sorts of things in here. Like there's animals here. There's a combine harvester over here somewhere, and I'm not going to put those in because they're not necessary. I'm going to put what I want to go in here. So we've got the skyline there. I might push that up a little bit. The clouds will be a bit like that, won't they? A few little sort of clouds there. Yeah, I think that will do. So I'm going to start out with some darks, okay? And I'm going to do those. I think I'll use a little bit of burnt sienna. I actually left the oil painting on the palette overnight, since last night, so it's got a slight bit of skin on it, but it'll be fine. It'll be fine. So I'm going to mix those in and then start putting some bit more blue into that. I'm going to change up the colours again a little bit in order not to do the same thing completely. That's a dark there. I'm putting a thin, sort of a thinnish layer of paint on. I'm not going heavy with the paint at the moment. I don't want to sort of have a load of paint there in order to paint into, you know, give myself some room in paint terms. Oh. If I put the paint down heavy now, it's going to be harder to avoid making mud later on by putting heavy paint into heavy paint. Okay, so let's go. There's a little bit of horizon there. Okay, right. So I'm going to change my brush a little bit to smaller one. That one's about 1 inch there. Where are we? And I'm going to change this one. This is about what's about 1/4 of an inch. Okay, and I'm going to start putting in a bit of colour. Okay, and I do have my last one here, so that I can sort of check against it, because I don't want to do what I did, so I'm going to change it around. All right, so green grass. Okay, so let's put it in blue. I'm not going to completely obliterate the background, because the wash is nice to have as well. Oh, sorry, shouldn't put that in there, but not to worry. Some blue. This is thinly applied. You know, it's neat paint, but I'm not putting a terrible amount of it on. Just last night I did this in red. Okay, so the sky was a kind of a yellow, well, it's a blue sky. So let's put in part of it as a red. Why not? Or an orange anyway. It's quite dark in this studio. In order to stop the light from bouncing off the canvas, but it's actually made the place quite dark indeed. So I don't know what will that make me do. Make me paint a lighter painting? I suppose if you'll be painting it lighter in order to see it. It's like when I paint outdoors during the summer in the blazing sunshine, when there is blazing sunshine in Ireland, and I take the paintings back home, and all the paintings are dark because it's something you have to sort of deal with when you're there. So that's kind of done. The roof, roofs are kind of very red, so let's take care of the red roof. Roofs there, like that. So the idea: don't pay any respect to the colours. Deliberately change them, and the water needs to be a reflection of the sky. That's got to agree with the sky, whatever it is. And I mistakenly put a bit of green in there. Didn't want that. Wipe it away with a rag. Okay. Some more green running alongside the. Obviously, I'm painting it in ultramarine blue, so you're not seeing things. Don't worry. Okay, what else have we got? Let's put in some darks for where those sails are. That's got to be above there like that, and then that'll come down there like that. That's fine. Okay, so let's put in some different colours. In the sky, let's get in a few more yellow. Parts there. And it doesn't matter, it's mixing with that blue that I from the drawing there. It gives it a kind of a green hue. That's okay. More yellow. Bring it up around those sails, around here. I think when you're painting like this, you're not sort of looking for accuracy. You're looking for energy, really. Okay, let's move those there. So we've got a sky there like that. That's good. Now, in the grassy areas, let's go again with some different colour, some red there, adding in some red to those green areas there. That's good. Those bushy areas, you know, running up here to the windmill, which are a kind of a reddish green. So I'm going to amp that up. And they can be quite a vivid red. And there's a tree there, and let's put that in. Put that in as a vivid red as well, and maybe put in these next to the house. Okay. We've got the red roof of the barn. Put that in green. And maybe some, because you still have to sort of deal with contrasts. You know, I can't do a blue here and then a similarly toned green next to it. I don't think it would work as well. So there is a kind of there is a garishness about the Fauvist's works. They had to be garish because if you're not going to paint the thing accurately, you know, you have to make sure that you separate out the relevant areas, you know, the relevant blocks. No, despite that, you still got to do the same job because it's got to be viewable. Otherwise, you might sort of make the whole thing into a big camouflage job of mud and similar tones. Let's put that there. It's red. Oh, sorry, yellow there. The pathway, that can be a nice pink here, look. Not sure what I did yesterday, did I? It was a yellow path yesterday. Yeah, so pink is nice. Up there like that. I like the pink. I'm going to use more of it in those trees, I think. Make more of those. And even those distant fields, they can be pink too. Here. Let's have a look. Okay. Let's put, have we got any sort of, yes, we've got some dark down there, so that can be, that's really the, that's the blocking in kind of done, really. So now it's a case of playing around with the colours. I need to just put myself out a bit more yellow. It's a good way of painting because you're absolved from painting the thing accurately, which is good. Put some lighter kind of yellowy colour down there. That's right. Make sure that the strokes show, and make sure that the you've got some. You can start using quite a bit more paint now. So the kind of little impasto strokes that you'll get are worth having. One thing I suppose to bear in mind, I suppose, is you can still pay heed to temperature, because you're telling a story. Remember, I was saying that last night. You're rather than describing something accurately. I suppose it's the difference between poetry and just textbook descriptions of things. Okay, well, so what about some pinks in those skies then? Let's try it. Where the clouds might be. Up there. And the colour, it turns out, doesn't matter quite as much as you may have thought that it did. Obvious wild strokes. Let's have a look, making more. Yeah, that's nice. Just imagine if you're standing there by this windmill, and that you're missing your coffee and starting to get hungry. So I'm making up a kind of a light blue now for the grass. So a lighter blue. So it's kind of a mid blue at the moment, I suppose. And I do get slightly stressed by all this stuff when just before I start, I'm kind of on tenterhooks now. Is it going to work or not? Okay, so we've got some. Let's cut. I'm going to change my brush again. I need a bit of blue, a bit more blue. And there, I'm not sure why I left that undone anyway. Okay, so back to the sky again. So I'm going to add a bit more white into white and yellow mixed. And bring that to the horizon. And I'm kind of gratuitously sort of leaving lots of paint in those strokes. I do like a bit of gratuitous heavy paint. It's down around here in the horizon too. Can shape my windmill a bit. Although, I suppose in keeping with the Fauves, I shouldn't be sort of too worried about the drawing anyway. My natural disposition is probably not to be so wild, in my painting. This is my discipline of illustration sort of coming out. And let's put some here, because the sky has got to agree, otherwise it, with the water, otherwise it doesn't look like a reflection. Put that down there like that. And what about some light green in the sky? Ooh, this is a bit dangerous here, but let's have a look. White, yellow, and a touch of the blue. So it's a very light yellowy green. So do that. No, that's not bad. You can sort of describe clouds. Okay, because Holland is, would be a country much like Ireland, where it's coastal and rains a lot, I think. Mind you, when it does get warm, that neck of the woods, it does get warm. So now let's heat up some of the lit side of the trees. Light's coming in from here, I think. So, or at least it is now in my. You can see the lit side of the windmill. So what was I going to do? Oh yes, I was going to mix in some of the yellow with the red, and then I can put in some sunlight on those trees, and here too. And this is it's actually quite a contemplative way of painting. You know, it's because you're not beholden to the photographic reference anymore. You can just go off on a kind of a flight of fancy, you know, and do what you like. So I do like this. How about some? There, and let's put some Van Gogh style lines in. There, not bad that. I like that. Let's put in some. Oh, here, before I go on, there's the lower part of the windmill across there. Just a line will do, and let's grab a bit of ultramarine. Put in a door. Put in a window here. Put in a window here. Okay. And now I'm going to go off and I'm going to start delineating a little bit because I think it's nice to do that. So just move the paint around. There. There's a nice one there. Put a little shadow under that in pure blue. Delineate that roof. Put some darks under those bushes. And continue those over there like that and there like that. I'll put a little line around that barn as well. I mean, no one's to know that that's a modern construction. Doesn't look like one now. Put some little lines in there. Now, back to the grass again. So let's mix up some white and some blue. And we can sort of start describing the light parts of the grass. And you don't even have to be complete about this stuff. Look, you can just sort of do that. I mean, who's going to sort of who's going to say, well, that's not right? You're so far wrong, in other words, that you become right. Rough, quick, energetic strokes up here. Don't have to conform to reality at all. Yeah. Okay. Let's put some light in the side of that windmill. Squares, that'll do. That's enough. Put in the lights at the top here, these veluxes, I suppose they would be, wouldn't they? That'll do. That's good. Let's start. I'm going to put a little bit of green actually in the grassy areas. Not too much though, but just some, because I want to see what it looks like. Okay. I'm using quite a small brush here. It's a number 1. in the create range. There. And put it in there, that'll do. Maybe I could put some greens in that red path. That'd be nice and garish. Nobody's to know. Now, do something with those sails. The sails really are, they're, if you can see them, let me just show you again. If you can see them, they're kind of like lattice work, aren't they? They're kind of, so they're not very obvious. So really, it's just the sky with some of that sail dark mixed in. There. Okay, so if I grab some of the dark for the sails and put in the sky, which is the kind of reddish colour, and put a bit more white in it maybe, a bit more yellow into it. And then I can sort of put that, see how that works. There. There. And there. Okay, we need the top of that windmill, which is kind of very light coloured white. That's going to change it because that's what this painting is about. It's about not painting the right colours. There's a dark for the windows. We'll put that in there, like that. Well, is there is some kind of structural elements here, so I'm just going to describe them in a very cursory way. There, that, and then there's another one there, and it comes down there like that. That's enough description, I think. Yeah, that'll do. There. More. Let's do a lighter pink. I haven't done much of a light pink. A light warm pink. See what we can do with that. Will that sort of make the painting vibrate a bit more? Put that. Because that's all sort of vegetation there. That'll do. And maybe I can even put in some of the pinks in the grass. That'll make the painting slightly more coherent. I always sort of, or I often move elements from one part of the painting to the other. So the sky might, I don't think I will in this case, but sky might have blue in it as well. So, but I've got, on my palette, I've got a bit of purple. So I'm going to take that, put a bit of white into it, see what that does. It's a cold colour, so we'll put it in the shadow areas, okay? Maybe even that can go in there. Okay, let's, maybe I can do some of the delineations with a bit of purple as well. Okay, and another thing is maybe the grass could go a little bit sort of lighter as it gets towards the back, gets towards further away, I suppose. Oh, here, I'm just reading your quote from Matisse. Fauve painting is not everything, but it's the foundation of everything that's open to interpretation. Yeah, I'm going to have to go away and ponder that one, actually, Martin. But yeah, isn't it strange how he ended up just cutting out forms in paper, sticking them to other bits of board, you know? His eyesight was going, I think. Now, I'm just going to put in a few descriptions, I think in blue, of gaps or hedges between fields. Maybe one along there would do. Some kind of bushes there that could be described with just little blue strokes. It really does make you simplify, I tell you, because once you sort of deliberately start making your drawing all sort of skew ways, you find that there are things that you just can't put in, I think. So now there's that that fence. So blue, I think I'll base it around blue. I'll put a bit of red into it just to make it dark. And so there's a fence there, and then it comes up there like that. And it crosses the path and comes up there like that. And there's a kind of a shadow, I suppose. And then there's the uprights. What else do I need to do now? I'm just going to grab a bit of white and do a bit more with the sky and the water, I think. Maybe put a bit more yellow into it. It needs a bit of colour. And into there as well. Maybe I can sort of describe some clouds there like that. Let's put that there like that. It kind of makes the houses look 19th century, I think. Maybe that's the style of painting that's done that, but kind of like that. I think that will do. Actually, I'm going to just... I always get the heel of my brush and just sign it that way. Yeah. So that's it. So let me come back to here. That's a pretty good representation. It's quite dark on the screen. So let me just, well, I'll show you how I take it off first. It might help just to maybe I can sort of tip that light, and that might help a little bit. It looks very dark on my phone screen anyway. Let me pull that up there like that. And got the last one here. Grab that, and that tape that I'm using is kind of frog tape, low tack stuff that the painter and decorators use. So if I grab that, take it over to this one, maybe it's that there. Hang on. There. Okay, so that's my attempt at a Fauvist. I don't know if it's still focusing there. Well, you'll see it anyway on the how do you call it, the permanent video when it comes out. So that, my friends, and thank you very much for coming and for commenting, is it. So I'm officially a wild beast. Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's right, a wild beast with a headache. Yeah.